only one minor league champion.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, when that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside, a slow short ball.
There's only one minor league champion.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, when that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside, a slow short ball.
Hello and good morning, viewers. We are here, Houston Open Day 3, field number 5, game between St. Louis Americans and Future Caps. As we have the new bowler in. So early trouble, 15 for 3, St. Louis Americans. As Adnit is going to continue with his first over. And the two batsmen in the middle, Raghav, 2 of 4 deliveries, and Arnav, the new man in, 0 off of just a single delivery. 15 for 3 St. Louis Americans, and a really good bowling here by the youngsters, Future Caps. As Adnit Chamb is going to come. And that's pulled, and that's going to be out. And that is gone. What a vicious delivery that was, and took the batter by surprise, and he couldn't get away. Got the shoulder of the bat and straight popping up to the gully for a catch. So that's a crucial blow there. 4 wickets down. St. Louis Americans. This is just the 4th over. And Future Caps, a team of very fine young cricketers, and they're causing some serious damage to St. Louis Americans. 4 wickets back in the pavilion, just 15 runs on the board. And you can see in the replay, that ball just bounced. It was very quick, and the batsman couldn't get away, just hung his bat out there, took the part of the bat and just popped straight to the gully. And that's Raghav Satish. Gone. So this lad Adnit is generating some serious pace here as the new batsman comes walking in, and that's Sujit. Sujit Naik is going to come in the middle. Yeah. He is a very fine batsman, Sujit Naik. It's 2 innings in this tournament, 71 runs with a strike rate, a pretty good strike rate, 136. His highest score of 39, as he's going to come in and try to stabilize the St. Louis Americans with 4 wickets down for just 15 as Adnit. And again, a very good delivery. Here's the replay of the very first ball. The wicket trapped him, gave him the short pitch delivery, pulled. Still a lot of overs to go. So if these two can build a partnership and take St. Louis Americans to some respectability with their final score. So far, 4 deliveries and a wicket. A wicket maiden in progress. Let's see what these 2 deliveries bring as Adnit comes rushing in. And again, a short delivery, and they run for a quick single as the fielder was back towards the circle. So that's Sujit opens up his account, and Arnav is going to face. He's still yet to score, not of just 1 delivery, and 16 for 4. This is the last delivery of Adnit. $16 for 4 and really good bowling in the power play. As you can see, the coach of Future Caps right in front of the comm box talking to one of the fielders. He's come in and really good delivery, forward defensive, straight to the fielder, and that's an end of a very good over. A wicket in a single, 16 for 4 after 4 overs. And let's look at the fall of wickets. That's the first wicket, first delivery, pulled straight to mid wicket, and this is RN again, flick off the toes and similar kind of dismissal. A great catch on the boundary, and this is the third wicket. Clean him up, clean bowled, and the final wicket, very vicious bouncer, pops up straight to the gully. So those are the 4 wickets gone, 16 for 4. The left arm pacer comes in. And that's a good delivery. Tries to cut that ball outside the off stump. Wasn't able to connect and through to the keeper. That's a good delivery, driven straight to short cover. Again, the batsman run for a quick single. That's good piece of running there as the ball was just tapped in front towards the offside, and the batsman from the get-go decided that that was a run. So good piece of running, and that's what the St. Louis Americans need. They want to be able to take some quick singles, 1s and 2s, and then go for the big hits. They've lost 4 wickets already as Arya, the left arm pacer, is coming to bowl. He's gotten 2 of the 4 wickets, Arya. He's bowling his 3rd over. And this one is driven, but straight to the mid-off fielder, who does well to stop the ball, but enough for the batters to cross for a single. So it's just the matter of staying out in the middle, getting a feel for the ball, and knock some balls for some runs, and should be easy after that. Still a lot of game to go, still in the 5th over, still in power play. And this is a good delivery, Yorker length, and driven handsomely as RN is gonna stop chasing that ball, and that's gonna go for a boundary. Full on the offside, and still power play in play. So driven between cover and mid off, and that's a really good looking shot. Just waited for the delivery to come nicely underneath the eye, driven through the line and all along the ground for a much needed boundary. So St. Louis Americans, that's exactly what they need. They need to build a partnership and score some runs. This is just the 5th over, 22 for 4. It's Arya. Oh, that's edged, but didn't carry. Slightly on the low. The slip fielder was way back. And that was a good delivery. Just a bit of seam movement. as Sujit was trying to drive it on the up and didn't adjust for the seam. Genuine edge and just fell short of the fielder. And not the same pace as Adnit, so not sure if the slip was a little back, but nevertheless a good delivery. And here's the batting card. Joshua Trump, a very fine batsman, gone. First delivery on that pull shot. Raghav Satish just two. Lahiru Milanta, another experienced player, just one. Got out by Aryan Nadkarni, and the last wicket was Satish, and the fourth wicket Sohan Bhatia, bowled by Arya Garg. So 4 wickets down. Arya 20 runs, 2 wickets in 3 overs. Aryan 1 over and a maiden and a wicket maiden, and then Adnit 1 over, 1 run and a wicket. So really good piece of bowling by all these youngsters, all pacers, no spinners yet. As the new bowling change comes up, a spinner, as we were talking about it, the pacers and how well they've done. And with the pacers getting 4 wickets, it seems perhaps maybe another over by Adnit and Aryan would have done some wonders, as they were generating some serious pace. But the captain has another strategy in mind, as Sahir, the spinner, would come in, the wrist spinner, and right away driven straight to long off for a single. With the new batters coming in, especially in pressure situations where you have 4 wickets down and the pacers taking all the wicket, it gets a bit more challenging for the batters to adjust to the pace and the bounce, and it takes a few balls for feet movement and everything, the hands to become flexible. So bringing spinners on might have brought some relief to the 2 batters, because slightly easy to navigate the spinners. As Sahir will continue, like I said, flighted delivery, and that's driven handsomely. Fielder after it, but no chance. Good piece of timing there for a boundary. So Sujit, his second 4 and driven, looks to be a very strong offside player. As you can see, that's flighted delivery, slightly drifting, and then just comes in his stride and drives it between extra cover and cover. So that's a good shot here by Sujit. As Sahir Bhatia is going to continue. Not getting a lot of turn, and this one is slightly on the short. Tucked it towards square leg, and they run for a quick single. Not a good throw, but good backup there. Arnav, the quiet of the 2, just played 4 deliveries for 2 runs, and Sujit 10 of 9. Last over of the power play, 27 for 4 St. Louis Americans. And this one is short and cut, but straight to deep backward point. They've got some crucial wickets in very experienced players, Joshua Trump and Lahiru Milanta. 1 gone for duck, 1 for 1 run. So as Bhatia is going to come in, again good delivery. That bounced a bit more, and a loose effort there by the bowler to collect the ball. So goes all the way to the long off, allowing the batter to cross for a single. 7 runs conceded by Sahir Bhatia. With the pacers prior to this over, they were keeping the scoreboard down, just 1 run and maiden by Aryan and Adnit. So bringing the spinners on is kind of opening up the scoring, and this one is again driven, and that's gonna go for 4. So second boundary in this over, and that's exactly what I was talking about. By bringing a spinner when the pacers were putting the pressure, kind of eases the nerves, relaxes the batters, and especially with the power play with just the 2 fielders out, 2 boundaries, and again a good looking drive. So 33 for 4, and Sujit dealing in boundaries here. The power play is finished, 33 for 4. It's 33 for 4 after the end of 6 overs. Future Caps, all the youngsters in the team getting their very first experience in a major tournament, Houston Open 2026. I saw some really good batting the other day, especially by the openers Ansh and Amog. Really good batters, and now today they're showing what they can do with the bowling. This pacer comes in, that's Aaron Nadkarni. He's got a wicket maiden, and this one is flicked towards backward square leg for a single. As Aaron, also a very fine youngster, a very good fast bowler. He's bowling his second over. He's took a wicket maiden, and let's see what he can do. As still early on, and if he can get some sieve movement off the pitch, definitely can take a wicket or two here. And really good experience for these youngsters as they come in and play major tournaments and play against some experienced players. As you saw what these players are: Clarion County Eagles, a lot of international stars, Space City Cowboys with Ali Khan, Nasir Jamali, and also St. Louis Americans with Lahiru Milanta, Joshua Trump. So a lot of good players here, especially with a tournament like this. And future Caps, when they play against these opponents, they definitely gain a lot of confidence and elevate their game. A lot of learning experiences for them as Aaron comes in. And again, this is a good delivery, just taps it down towards the long on fielder as the power play is off. So the field is spread out. Still two relatively new batters. Arnav just 4 of 7 deliveries, and I feel like that they should take 1 or 2 fielders inside the circle, maybe put a slip in place for Arnav because he's still new, and put some pressure and maybe get wicket. If you get hit for a boundary because you have a fielder or 2 inside the circle, and that's fine, but if that pressure release results in a wicket, that's what the future Caps will be looking for. So it's not a big total yet, 35 for 4, as Aaron comes rushing in, and this is a good delivery. Shot just taps it on the offside and a single. So that's good piece of running. Even the 30-yard fielders were really back on the edge of the circle. So that's what I'm talking about. Just take a fielder or 2 inside the circle. With 4 wickets down, the pressure is certainly on St. Louis Americans, and not going to be easy to score runs. But if you give them a spread out field, singles all over the ground, all they need to do is just tap and run, which you just saw in the previous delivery. So that's what the future Caps need to do. And the coach, as we saw in the previous over, was on the sidelines on the rope talking to one of the players, so perhaps trying to talk the same as put more pressure, as Aaron will come and bowl to Sujit. And that's a good delivery, and a bit of misfielding there, straight to the cover fielder, not cleanly collected through his legs, resulting in a single. Aaron nodding his head in disgust, as he wasn't expecting that. A rare misfield. Aaron will come in. Oh, that's a good delivery. And again, misfielding, and that's 2 and 2, and that's not. And Aaron is not happy with the effort there. And that was a really good delivery. Batsman was trying to play on the onside and got some part of the bat, and the ball went on the offside, and the fielder couldn't get to the ball. So 5 balls and 5 singles, 2 misfields. So future Caps lapsing in the field. As R will continue with the last ball of his second over. He's bowling well. He's not given any big hits. Just dealing in singles here, St. Louis Americans. And this one is cut and beats the point fielder. And that's going to go for 4. And after these two misfields, getting a boundary, that's not going to make RN very happy. Ends with a boundary. Look at that shot, just slightly on the offside and just played with the bounce. Beats the point fielder, nobody in the deep. And that's going to be a 4. So end of a very good over in the end, 9 runs.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is globbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
And for viewers watching this game, really kudos to the broadcasting guys for with the angles and the coverage. Looks like an international game as Adnit is going to continue with his bowling. We saw him generating some serious pace, and this was on the up and beats the fielder in the circle, but there's a fielder in the deep for single, and Adnit took that first wicket in his first over, and that was one ferocious bouncer, and the batsman couldn't get away, got the bat and popped up to the gully, and that's his wicket. Just given 3 runs in a wicket, and St. Louis Americans still trying to recover from those early 4 wickets. 8th over here, 44 for 4. As Adnit is going to continue, and this is a good delivery, just blocks it back to the bowler, and I have Adnit Joshi here in the comm box. Adnit, what do you make up of this game where the young team of youngsters, future caps, they've done some serious damage?
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty good game going on right now. Beautiful weather. And the way these youngsters are playing, it's tremendous amount of energy they're bringing to the ground. So, pretty fun to watch right now.
And the previous delivery was a no ball, as we saw on the replay, the bowler clearly stepping.
Definitely.
So Adnan is going to have to re-bowl that ball, and that's a free hit. So Arnav, maybe this is what he needed. And this is a low full toss, waiting to be punished and guided towards the backward square leg region, and that's a 4. And that's exactly what Arnav was needing. He was the quieter partner, 7 of 11 deliveries, and look at that delivery. Not what you'd like to bowl when there's free hit in play, helping the batsman. And St. Louis Americans recovering and recovering well, 49 for 4. This is just the 8th over, still a lot of game to go, 12 more overs after this. And Adnit looking like a different bowler from his first over, already conceded 7 runs of the first 3 deliveries, as Arnav moves on to 11 as he comes in. This is a better delivery, wanted a single, but again a fumble. So a lot of fielding lapses here by these youngsters. And here, did you watch the first 4 wickets as these pacers were generating some serious pace, and they got some very experienced batters out, like the likes of Joshua Tromp and Dahiro Milanta?
Yes, definitely. And the catch they have taken, it's like on the boundary. It was fantastic catches they have taken today's. Like it says, right? catches win the matches. So that's what they are proving today.
That's right. And again, a very good delivery. Just taps it on the onside. No fielder there really inside the circle on the onside. So single. So singles, like I mentioned, all over the ground. So very defensive field set by Future Caps. And with games like this, when you get 4 early wickets, it's very important for the bowling side to apply some extra pressure and get more wickets and put the batting team under pressure. But if you give them easy singles, and these batters, if they knock down for 1s and 2s and stay in the middle, they will develop a partnership. And we're seeing one right now. 22 Sujit of 15 deliveries, Arnav 12 of 14, and 50 for 4. And this is the last delivery of Adnit, and this one is hit. This is hit handsomely. It's going to go all the way to the boundary. What a beautiful shot that was, on the up. Just passes through the extra cover fielder. No chance for the long off fielder, and that's 4. And this is a very expensive over. 12 runs conceded. 2 boundaries. And 54 for 4 after 8.
One hard!
There's only one minor league champion.
As we continue back with the action, as the left arm spinner come into bowl, and this is flighted, driven straight to long off for a single by Arnav. As the new bowler coming in, that's Adit Kappa. He's bowled well in this tournament. As we have another game going on right behind us on Pv6 between Atlanta Fire and Columbus Falcons. Columbus Falcons batting first, and they are 86 for 3 with Sharad Lamba and Agni Chopra playing, and they're developing a big partnership. They lost some early wickets. They lost the US men's team skipper Monak Patel cheaply for 1 run, and Kumarjeet Singh also gone, and Faraz Ali. So those are 3 wickets down as Kappa comes in, and this one is driven firmly but straight to the fielder. And we have our own game going on between Future Caps and St. Louis Americans. Future Caps, we were just talking about here the fielding effort. They took some really good catches to dismiss the first 4 batters, but ground fielding, they've missed some easy singles, and that doesn't make the bowlers happy. And this was driven straight to the deep cover for a single.
Yeah, definitely. The way their coach Prajit is handling them and the training them, it's unbelievable amount of energies they are bringing to the table, to the ground. The discipline they are bringing to the ground. And yesterday's game, they play against Columbus. It's also one of the best game, even though their Future Caps has lost the game, but still they give a very, very good fight.
This one is a good delivery. Batsman won in a single. And you mentioned the name of the coach, Prajit. Prajit played most of his cricket here in Houston before settling in Seattle. He was a very fine wicketkeeper batsman. He loves to coach, and I was having a word with him yesterday, and I asked him if he's playing, and he said that he can only do one or the other. If he can, either he can play or coach. And this one is up in the air, and that's gone. A very loose shot there by Arnav. Just a nothing shot was there to be hit, and he just, instead of hitting it firmly, hits it up and straight to the point fielder, and he just dives and makes the catch, and that's the 5th wicket gone. And just as we were talking about, a partnership is needed and it was brewing. Here comes Adit Kappa. Look at that delivery. It just spun away, and then Arnav just rocks in the bat foot and just hits it like almost a catching practice straight to the point fielder. So that's half the team back in the hut. 56 for 5 St. Louis Americans.
This ground, Houston Open, it's one of the best field you can ever get. It's PVCC. The way the Mangesh is working on this day and night to maintain this ground, maintain the facilities. It was such a tremendous, hectic work, but he's put his hours, long hours, to maintain all these things and create a tournament like this.
Certainly, kudos to Mangesh and his team of groundsmen who've done a fantastic job, especially when we lost day 1 on Monday because of the rains and the flooding, but they worked tirelessly to make the grounds ready, revised the schedule, and now we're back to the normal schedule. Today, the first 2 days, we had the games, rescheduled games played, the 12-over games, and the grounds look in really good condition. Outfield is fast. The pitch is helpful for both the batters and the bowlers. So as Adit Kappa is going to come in, 5 wickets down. And this is a flighted delivery, turn and straight to the keeper. So 5th wicket down for St. Louis Americans. 9 overs done, 56 for 5. The current run rate 6.22. As we have the new bowler coming in. And this one is hit towards backward square leg. Will they come back for the 2? No, decided against this. The new batsman is Ronak. The new bowler is Sahil Garg, another pacer. A team of a lot of pacers. We saw 2 spinners. Kappa, the left arm spinner, and Sahir Bhatia was the wrist spinner, which was brought on early but conceded 12 runs. Sahil will come in, bowl to Ronak. This is a slower delivery, a slower Yorker right in the block hold, and Ronak just blocked that delivery. So 57 for 5, still more than half the game led, just a bit closer to the halfway mark. And St. Louis Americans, they need to come back and score at least 130. Deer 130, 140 is what they would be looking for. What do you think? Talk about this after this delivery as again Sahil slower delivery, just attacking the stumps, taps it on the offside for a single. So 135 to 145 would be a decent total for St. Louis Americans to defend.
Definitely, but if the St. Louis wants, they can chase up to one. I mean, Future Caps can chase it up to 150. The batting orders they have, the power they have, the power they generate. But St. Louis Americans should go above 150. They should target to go above 150. They still have a lot of overs to go, 10 overs. They need to accelerate down there here.
This is a good delivery, and they want to. It's in the gap, in the deep, and the batters as Aryan comes in and throws, but a really good piece of running. So Sujit 30 of 21 deliveries, 60 for 5. It's 4 runs conceded of the first 5 balls by Sahil. Looks like a really good bowler. He uses his variety very intelligently. This one was a quicker delivery, but he's bowled 2 slower balls to Ronak as Sujit will face the last delivery of his over. And again, this one is on the up, and that's driven, but there's a fielder there in the deep, so just a single. So halfway done, 10 overs in the books. St. Louis Americans 61 for 5. $61 for 5 St. Louis Americans. Kind of a recovery job, and the main character in this recovery is the batter on your screen, the left-handed batter Sujit. He looks like a very good player. He's hit some really good boundaries, nothing too fancy, and that's what we need as the left-arm spinner will continue. Adit Kappa, and this one is driven. So if St. Louis Americans, if they need to get to the year 140, 150, this man right here, Sujit, needs to stay all the way through and score a big total for his side.
Yes, he's a MLC player. He plays for Seattle Orcas, and he come from Mumbai cricket. So he has a lot of experience on his hand. So definitely he will be the key player to score big hits.
It's a good delivery, and you saw heard some insights from our fellow commentator Dheer Joshi. So he's very good with these research, and he's also part of the Crick Center app where you can see all the graphs as you see on this scoring screen and all the AI tools that his company brings. Exciting app. As Ronak being on the slower side, just 1 of 5 deliveries. The need for these two batters is to Sujit to take the leading role, and Ronak just needs to rotate the strike. Playing dot balls is not going to help, especially when the field is fully spread around. All he needs to do is tap and give Sujit the majority of the strike, and that's what he's been trying to do for the last 4 deliveries, but no such luck. Every shot has gone straight to the fielder, and they don't want to take a risky single and lose another wicket in the process. So he's played 3 dot balls. He's just 1 of 6 deliveries, so something needs to happen here as Kappa comes in, and he's been bowling, and that's what happened. He got a false shot out of Ronak because of 4 dot deliveries, and that resulted in a catch. Tried to heave it on the onside against the spin, goes up in the air, and the extra cover fielder reverse cups it, and the 6th wicket down, and that's what the pressure can do for you. 62 for 6 here.
No, definitely. As I mentioned, this Future Caps team bowling and the catches they take, that's gonna be a big game changer for them. Not now, but in future as well, as they may have the good name with their team name, Future Caps. So definitely they are sticking with their name of the team. They need to have partnership, otherwise Sujit can't do anything on his own. So they need to have one good partnership with Sujit to score 130, 150 plus. And Ronak, who just got out, was an impact player. So it's a
So Adit Kappa just in his second over and got 2 wickets, broke the partnership, got the first wicket in the last over and then got Ronak out. So he's a really good bowler and he gets the turn, the bounce, and he's got a very good quicker delivery, and then he's got 2 wickets. He just clamped the pressure, applied the pressure as Ronak was able to get a single. He's tried for first 4 deliveries and then eventually decided to go the aerial route, couldn't connect, couldn't manage the turn and the bounce of this youngster, and pops it straight to extra cover for 1. So Ronak is back in the pavilion now, 6 down, and this is some St. Louis Americans in serious trouble now. And the new batsman is Ryan, and you see the replay here again, not a very good shot as the ball was spinning away and he was trying to force it on the offside and got the edge as Adit comes in. And this is a good delivery back to the bowler, and that's a really good over for Adit. Just 1 run and the wicket. So you can see the dismissal again, and he would have been better served going on the offside with the spin rather than against the spin, and ended up losing his wicket. So 62 for 6 after 11. As a new bowler comes in, Rahul, another spinner. As Sujit, 33 of 24 deliveries. St. Louis Americans in a spot of bother here, 63 for 6. Really not able to get any sort of partnership going, especially losing 4 wickets really early. Some really good batters got out of some really fine bowling by a team of youngsters. As you can see, they've played in the junior circuit and some really good bowling, especially Adnit and Aaron, and they got some early wickets, got the likes of Joshua Tromp and Lahiru Milanta out. And then now the spinner Adit Kappa, the left arm spinner from the other end, he's causing some damage. So St. Louis Americans, besides Sujit, who is out in the middle, the lone warrior for St. Louis Americans, 33 of 24 deliveries, nobody's getting any score. Everybody's gotten out for single digit scores. 63 for 6, and this is the 12th over, and it's future caps. Certainly the future of cricket in USA and future of USA team, but currently causing some major damage to St. Louis Americans. As Rahul is going to come in, he's a wrist spinner, and this is a really good ball on the offside, cuts it, and the batters decided to just take a single. Sujit still needs to stay out there. If St. Louis Americans, if they want to get to a decent total of 130, 140, Sujit needs to stay till the end. And still a lot of overs to go. 8.4 overs to go. Still a lot of overs. So definitely 130, 140 is very much possible. And that's edged. But look at that piece of fielding. Certainly stopping a boundary. And this one a good delivery. So Rahul, a different kind of spinner. As you can see, this delivery slightly wide off the slip. And he gets a lot of bounce. And this delivery just knocked it on the onside. Wants to get away from the strike. I would be doing the same thing. And he wants to give the maximum strike to Sujit, who is played comfortably against some really good bowling of future caps. But Sujit wasn't interested in that single. So Rahul having a good start in his very first over. And you can see his bowling style is a bit different. He comes from really top of his action, is a really high arm action. As you can see, he gets a lot of flight, and especially if it lands in the right area, gets a lot of turn and bounce as well. And this one flighted up slightly fuller and driven straight to long off for a fielder for a single. It's 64 for 6. We're in the 12th over. And let's look at fall of wickets. This is Joshua Trump. First ball pulled, middled it too well straight to the fielder, and that was Joshua Trump. And this is Lahiru Milanta again. Flicked his favorite shot, but didn't realize there was a fielder in the deep. And what a good catch that was. And this is Sohan, comes down the track, drags onto his stump. And look at the fourth wicket. This one would be a really good bouncer. And nothing Raghav could do, but just hung his bat out there, pops it to gully. That was the fourth wicket. And this is Adit Kappa with his 2 wickets. A nothing shot there. A catching practice straight to backward point. And this was Ronak. Under pressure, played a few dot balls and wanted to get going with the score. Hits against the spin and pops it to extra cover. So Adit Kappa is going to continue. Just 3 runs of 2.1 overs in 2 wickets. So with his two more overs to go, if he can get a wicket or 2, that's going to be end of innings for St. Louis Americans. As Ryan, the new batter, facing, and a really good delivery. And that one didn't spin. That one was a slider or arm ball that comes in. And well played by Ryan. Just knocks it on the onside for a single and brings Sujit on strike. And Sujit needs to play the maximum balls here. He needs to take the leadership role here and need to play the maximum deliveries remaining and get some score for him and his team. And this one is driven. 1 bounce to the fielder. So Adit Kappa is a very handy customer. Not easy to get away. The bowling style, he mixes his delivery really well. He bowls a few quick ones, a few flighted, and he turns the ball too. And this one is slightly on the shorter side. Just taps it to the offside and rotates the strike. So youngsters, future caps, showing in this one of the major tournaments, Houston Open, what they can do. A lot of talent here. Again, as you can see, Adit Kappa can turn the ball, and he's got a slip in place, and that tells about this team, about the captaincy. And they had a slip in place until this delivery, and we're in the 13th over, and this is a T20 game. So this is a quicker delivery, low full toss, not giving any room for bigger hits. And St. Louis Americans, they don't need any big hits at the moment. They need a partnership. They need a consolidation effort. And for them to get to 120, 130, something to defend, they really need Sujit to stay out there till the end of the innings. And we saw future caps. They've got some really good batters, especially up top, Ansh Bhoj and Amog Aripali. Those are the 2 finest youngsters as we witnessed in the last 2 days. And they've hit the likes of Ali Khan, Nasir Jamali, and all the other prime bowlers. So credit to the coaches and Prajit, like we mentioned early on, coach of the side. Prajit also was a very fine wicketkeeper batsman. I believe he can still play, but he wants to coach. This is his passion. As Rahul is going to continue and trying to reverse sweep, and that's an appeal, and that's given. What an ill-advised shot that was, especially when you have 6 wickets down and the bowlers on top playing that reverse sweep for probably a single, if nothing more, and that's gone. And that's what Sujit has been witnessing from the other end, watching the players getting out cheaply and nothing he can do. And that's what I was saying, he needs to play the maximum balls. And look at that shot, that was a full delivery and there was no need to play that shot. And you can see Sujit was not happy with the choice of shot that the batter played. And that's the end of Rayan's inning. Rayan Taj 3 of 7 deliveries and 7 wickets down. Future Caps smelling blood here. They can get them out cheaply with the last 3 wickets. And we're in the 14th over. 67 for 7 St. Louis Americans. $67 for 7 as Rahul is going to come in. Harish is the new batsman. And this is a flighted delivery, slightly fuller, low full toss. Hits it straight back to the bowler. So with 7 wickets down, I feel like the way Rahul is bowling, they can probably get a few more catchers in place, catching positions, put the new batsman in pressure. This one is short and cuts it. And that's what I was saying. Stop those easy singles, especially on the new batters, and give Sujit all the singles and bring all the catchers in and let Harish go over the top. And it's not easy, especially in these pressure situations, to hit over the top, as we witnessed Ronak tried to do the same thing and got out. And that's exactly what future Caps need to do. When Harish comes into bat, bring in maybe a couple of fielders inside the circle, as Rahul is going to come in and bowl to Sujit. And this is a googly, and that's gone. And look at that delivery in the end. Didn't really play that shot, didn't keep it down, and that was a googly. And that just, again, a very similar dismissal that we saw with Arnav early on. This one, again, the bounce that Rahul gets. Look at the replay. This was a googly, a bounce, hits it, didn't try to keep it down, didn't go over the top, didn't put it on the ground, straight to the fielder. Another kind of a soft dismissal, like a catching practice. And that's the end of Sujit Naik. He was playing well. Potentially he was the last hope for St. Louis Americans, and he's back. So 8 wickets down for 68. And future Caps, they want to get the remaining 2 wickets here quickly and chase this small total. And the new batter in is Muhammad Ilyas. So Muhammad Ilyas, a very well-known figure, immigrated from Pakistan. He's played quite a bit of first-class cricket and also played in PSL. So he's a very good fast bowler. He's coming in, not an easy task for him to play, as Rahul is going to continue. And this is again a googly and good cut shot, but a great piece of fielding there, diving and stopping a certain force. So that's what I was talking about, pressure, as you bring in more fielders in catching position and get these 2 wickets. The more easy singles future Caps will give, the more confidence the batters will get, as Rahul is going to come in. And this one again, a good delivery in 2 minds. plays it back watchfully to the bowler. So Rahul, 3 runs of just 2 overs and 2 wickets. 68 for 8 after 14 overs.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
As Kappa is going to continue, he's going to bowl the last over of his spell. He's got 2 wickets for 6 runs. And look at that turn. Again, so I was talking about earlier, this is a very fine youngster. He bowls really well. He has the turn. He's got the variety. He's got a really good arm ball, and certainly a future star from Future Caps to watch out for in the coming years. As Harish is going to face, he's just 1 of 3 deliveries and still feel like maybe another fielder inside, and that's a misfielding again. We've seen a few misfields resulting in singles. Still a lot of gaps here on the offside, especially with Ilyas just coming in, haven't scored a single run and faced 2 deliveries. Maybe another fielder here on the offside and on the onside is going to stop easy singles and will force Ilyas to go hit over the top in a good delivery. Again, the turn and the bounce. And Ilyas, not really a bowler can do with this kind of bowling, especially when the specialist batters couldn't do much. As Kappa again, quicker delivery, goes in with the arm but got the inner part of the bat on the pad. So 2 more deliveries, and Adit Kappa really in the middle of a very magical spell. 7 runs, just the 7 runs, 2 wickets, 2 more deliveries to go. Can he take another wicket? Oh, that's a good delivery, tempting the batsman to hit on the top, but driven towards deep mid-wicket for a single, and that's a good strategy. Maybe give them a loosener, a flighted delivery, and see if the spin can do the magic and get a false shot out of the batter, as Harish is going to face the last delivery of Adit. And this is short and cuts straight to point, and that's the end of the over and end of his spell. 4 overs, 2 wickets for 8 runs. St. Louis Americans 70 for 8 in 15. As Rahul is going to continue, he's bowling really well, and this is hit in the air, and that's what I was talking about. Can the fielder get to it? And yes, he does, and that's Arnav Karni, and that's a very good catch, and not an easy catch to take, as he had to run at least 20 steps in, and then he dives and takes it inches above the ground, and that's the back of Mohammad Ilyas back to the pavilion. Again, like I was saying, not very easy for these tail-enders to play, and this is a flighted delivery. Wanted to hit it over cow corner and couldn't navigate the spin, and hits it against the same spin straight to the long off area, and what a brilliant effort there by Arnav Karni. Runs at least 20 steps in and gets that catch inches above the ground, and that's 9 down. And 70 for 9. And this is a very fine display of bowling by Future Caps. Both pacers early on, and now the spinners. Adit Kappa and Rahul Basu. What a brilliant spell by these two. Both of them taking 2 wickets apiece. Oh, that's a really good delivery first up, and what a delivery to bowl first up as Rahul bowls in. Hamid, the new batsman, in had no idea about that delivery. And look at the replay of the delivery. High, bat high in the air. Oh, what a googly. And never seen a googly turn this much. And this is honestly an international level bowling as Rahul, what a bowler he is. And this is again leg spin, hits it towards cover, and Harish, probably after seeing what Hamid did on that googly, doesn't want to give any more strike to Hamid. As Rahul, as you witnessed, a 6 from the tail ender, so that was a good shot, swept, and then a single. So Harish perhaps trying to show the top order batters this is how you take on the spinners. That was a really good shot, swept over square leg for a 6, and that's the end of the over. 3 overs for Rahul, 11 runs and 3 wickets. St. Louis Americans 78 for 9. Just 4 overs to go. As Kappa is finished with his over, so another wrist spinner comes in. He bowled the first over in the power play. That was a change that the captain made, especially when the Pacers were bowling well. The captain took them off and brought Sahir Bhatia, who's got conceded 11 runs. He's going to come in for his second over. Slightly different bowler from Rahul. He doesn't get that bounce, slightly shorter than Rahul, but still, nevertheless, a very good bowler, Sahir Bhatia. He can also turn the ball and mixes his deliveries. He's going to come in and try to wrap up the innings. And this one is short. Pulled, and Harish doesn't want to give any strike to Hamid. I'm not sure how Hamid feels about this, but there's nothing he can do, and Harish wants to score the maximum run. So this is going to end up just in one or the 2 ways. Either he's going to get some boundaries or he's going to get out really fast, as Sahir is going to come in. And this one again, This time he does decide, okay, great, maybe Hamid can play these kind of deliveries. So he takes a single. Probably got yelled at by his teammates from the dugout. Don't stop any more runs. Let's get to a total. So 79 for 9 as Hamid is going to face. And Hamid tried to hit that on the offside. No run there. St. Louis Americans 79 for 9. It's going to be a very difficult battle as Pardia comes in. And this one again, a quicker delivery. So he's also bowling well and no room given. And maybe this is probably a time with his last delivery coming up. Maybe tempt the batsman, give more flight and see what the batter can do, as he's got his bat really high. And again, a quicker delivery and no run. 1 run of this over. 2 for 12. Sahir, just a single run given in this over. 79 for 9. 17 overs in the books. St. Louis Americans. As Rahul is going to come and finish his spell and maybe finish the innings. Oh, look at that delivery again. And that Rahul, he can certainly spin the ball. He's got 5 more deliveries, and if he can get this wicket, that'll be good. And this one again, a good delivery. And he's getting a lot of turn and no idea there, Harish, what needs to happen. And again, this is where Rahul maybe needs to flight a bit more and get a false shot out of Harish. And this time, that's exactly what he's done. And this one beats the batter, beats the keeper, and it's going to go all the way to the boundary. Chased there by the fielder. And we wait for the umpire's signal. Look at the replay. Look at the delivery. Flighted. And this ball actually turned. It was going on the stumps. Turned, went between the legs of the batter, and then also fools the wicketkeeper too. So those are 4 byes. And look at that delivery. That spin and that turn was... And this one outside the off stump, and that's tapped it uppishly again. That's exactly what I was talking about. Having a fielder inside the circle would have resulted in a wicket. But they have got their fielders deep with last wicket to go. Bring everybody in. Let them go over the top. Maybe just have a long on and long off. As Rahul has come in and look at that. It's a googly. And Hamid wanted to hit this over the boundary rope and towards the other field and did not connect. And look at that replay of the delivery. That was a certain dismissal, but the turn this time worked to the advantage of the batter. Or look at that delivery. What a delivery this was. And Hamid feels very lucky. No idea there. And I wish we could see more overs from Rahul, but that's going to be the end of his spell. And what a bowler this guy is. Look at the turn and the bounce. No idea. Absolutely no idea. And this one drifted and turned, and all Hamid can do is just pray and put his bat out there. And that's exactly what he did, and he got lucky, he got saved. Sometimes not being a specialist batter helps, because if this was another specialist batter, we would have tried to be technically correct, which could have resulted in an edge. Counting his blessings here, Hamid, as Harish 11 of 15, 84 for 9. And this one is hit, but again refuses the single. And maybe wants to hit a few boundaries before give Hamid the strike. Asire is going to take these dot balls. And this one is hit in the air, and hit handsomely. Clears the boundary for the maximum, and that's exactly why Harish is doing what he's doing. He's not taking any singles. It doesn't want to give any strike to Hamid and score, deal in boundaries. So this is his second six, 17 of 17 deliveries. And this one was on the knees, hits towards the cow corner, clears the fielder, clears the rope. And again, this one shorter, but this time hits it towards long on, and Hamid not very pleased. Again, refused a single. Walks back. Hamid, he was halfway down. Probably was expecting there, as he wants to go and bat there, but Harish has other ideas. And this one again, slightly short, wanted to pull it. Drags it on his pads. A dot ball, and I believe this one might end up in a single if he doesn't get a big hit, because this is only 2 more deliveries to go in this over, 6 runs. This is a quicker delivery, and punches it well, but there's a fielder in the deep, so single. So 1 delivery to face, and that's where they need to bring more fielders in. If they want to get a wicket, get more fielders in. And this is the 19th over, so 1 more ball to go. And this one is a good delivery, cut straight to point, and that's the end of the 19th over. So 91 for 9. Can they get to triple digit? 9 runs to go, 1 more over, and Rahul is done with his spell. So there's a chance for St. Louis Americans to get to that score of 100. 91 for 9, and 1 more over to go. Last over to go. Arnav has the ball in his hand. He's bowled 2 overs for 9 and a wicket. He got the wicket of Lahiru Milanta. A catch on the boundary, deep square leg boundary. The first 2 dismissals were very similar. As the first ball, Joshua Trom middles it, hits it well, but straight to the fielder in the deep, and Lahiru the same thing. Flicked the ball and flicked it well, but straight to the fielder in the deep. As Arnav Nadkarni will finish up the innings here. 6 more balls to go, 91 for 9, as Harish is going to face. This is a full toss. Hits up in the air, and that's gone for another maximum. Not a good ball to bowl, as he was trying to get that Yorker in, misses his mark, ends up in a full toss, and just hits it high and handsomely over the mid-wicket area for a maximum. So 3 sixes by Harish, and certainly he wants to go over the 100 total, and 97 for 9. Still 5 more balls to go. Harish moves on to 24, and this is the second highest scorer by the number 10 batsman. Is Arnav. Let's see if he can get that Yorker in, or maybe a short pitch delivery. Short outside the off stump, called a wide, and Arnav not very pleased with that call. He thought this was inside, but the umpire said nope. This is outside the off stump, and that's a wide. So extra conceded, 98 for 9. Still 5 more balls to go, and knowing how Harish has been playing, all his big hits have been on the onside. So this is the target that Harish Kakani is going for. So that's what Aaron thought, maybe give him outside the off stump, slightly wider, and let him go against. As Aaron will come in. And this one is hit. And that is gone. In the air towards the long on, and a good catch by Amog Aripali, and that's the end of the innings. Aaron gets his second wicket. Harish out for 24, and that's the end of St. Louis Americans. They did not get to the 100 score. 98 for 9. Look at that dismissal on your screen. Comfortable catch by Amog. So that's the end of the St. Louis Americans. 98 all out, and Aaron gets his second wicket. And what a brilliant effort there with the ball by Future Caps. Look at the scorecard up top, a very dismal scorecard. Joshua Tromp none, Raghav 2, Lahiru 1, Sohan 8, Arnav 13. Sujit was one batter who scored 34, a good 34, and then in the end Harish scored 24 runs. So Future Caps need 99 runs from 120 deliveries. And look at the bowling scorecard. Arya Garg took 2 wickets for 25 runs in his 4. Aaron 2.2, 16, 2 wickets. Adni Jump, serious pace bowling, 13 runs, 2 overs and 1 wicket. Sahir Bhatia 19 of 3. Adit Kappa and Rahul Basu, really good spin attack. 4 overs for 8, 2 wickets for Adit and Rahul. 12 runs and 3 wickets. And that's the end of St. Louis Americans. 98 runs, 99 needed, and we'll be back with the chase. Before we go, let's look at the highlights again. That's the fall of the wickets. And this was first delivery, Joshua Tromp. This was a flick off his hips, but straight to the fielder, Lahiru Mulanta. And this is Sohan hitting some boundaries, and then tried to repeat the shot, got the inner edge straight on the stumps. That was Sohan. And look at that bouncer. Nothing Raghav can do. Pops up to the gully, and that was the 4th wicket. And then a small partnership between Sujit and Arnav. Sujit hitting some really glorious cover drives, and that was another 4. And Arnav also got in the act before Adit come in, and look at that shot. In the end, a nothing shot by Arnav, straight to point. And then Ronak couldn't handle the pressure after playing a few dot balls. Pops it straight to extra cover. And this is the bowler, Rahul. Pick of the bowler, pick of the innings. Reverse sweeping LB. This is again Sujit gone, catching practice to point. That was Rahul's second wicket. And this is Muhammad Ilyas again, hitting against the spin. And a good catch there by the youngster Aaron Nadkarni. That was the 9th wicket. And then Harish hit some lofty hits, 3 sixes. That was the first one of Rahul. And this was another 6. And this is of the last over from Aaron. And then tried to hit the same shot and holds it out to long on. So that's the end of the innings. 98 runs. And we'll be back with the chase.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man, indeed, when that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
One hard!
There's only one minor league champion.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, but that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside, a slow, short ball.
There's only one minor league champion.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, but that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside, a slow, short ball.
One hard.
There's only one minor league champion.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
There's only one minor league champion.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
There's only one minor league champion.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
All right, welcome back. Houston Open Day 3. We are here at Pv5. A beautiful ground, beautiful weather to play, and what a game we witnessed so far. The first innings between these youngsters, future caps, versus a very experienced St. Louis Americans. And the bowling display that we saw in the first inning, especially by the seamers up front, Arnav Nadkarni and the other bowlers, and the spinners, Adit Kappa and then Rahul Basu. A brilliant bowling and got them out cheaply for 98 runs. So just 99 runs needed. And future caps, they've got some really good batters as we saw the last 2 days, especially the openers with Ansh Bhoj and Amog Aripalli. And that boy Amog can really bat. Saw some really good shots against the likes of Ali Khan, Nasir Jamali, Shuja, and some experience. So this is a good learning experience, playing in a major tournament like this, Houston Open, playing against some really good teams. They get to show their own skills, and these youngsters, the future caps, coached by Prajit. And speaking of coaches, it is my honor and privilege that I have a special guest in the comm box, and I have the coach of the USA men's team, Pubudu Dasanaike. Welcome, Pubudu, to the comm box.
Thank you for having me.
As we have Mohammad Ilyas, a very seasoned campaigner, played in Pakistan, played in PSL. As you'll see, he'll generate some pace. And the two batters out there, Ansh is not come to open. It's Amuk and Sahil. As we'll ask Pubudu. Pubudu, you saw the bowling from these youngsters and you've scouted them, seen them, different events, different platforms. What do you make of this bowling attack from future caps?
No, I think firstly, it's a great tournament, and these youngsters, having putting up a team together, I think that's a great opportunity for them to showcase against the senior teams. I got the privilege to work with these guys in St. Kitts last time. It's a boundary.
And there was a really good shot on the up, hits it over the top for a boundary. So Elias not getting his line right, and especially with this kind of pace, easy pickings for the batters. As you can see on the replay, outside the off stump, and just rides the bounce, hits it over the top for a boundary.
Yeah, these Amog and Shail is they're one of the best batters in the under-19 last World Cup, and great future for USA. Actually, looking at these youngsters, they just need match time, game time, to improve their game sense and the tactical side. But the technically is great. They're very technically sound batters.
That's a good delivery. Pubudu, you were there with the team, USA team in the World Cup, as you saw the other teams and the associate teams, USA and other teams playing. The gap has kind of come down quite considerably. It's not the same kind of cricket where the majority of the teams are dominating these associating teams. We've seen Team USA and other teams they're actually bringing the game really close. What do you think about the gap that's been filled for the last few years?
Especially the T20 cricket, we have a great team. It's all about doing the little things right, and especially the difference basically is right now is the opportunity of playing quality cricket. Full members, they always have back-to-back tours, bilateral tours, playing in that level, where we don't actually get that opportunity to play that much of cricket and at that level. When we played the India game in the World Cup first game, the last T20 international was played in a year ago. So it's a tough ask, but I think having said all these issues, we have come a long way, and we are not that far away from any of these full members now.
That's right, as Elias is going to come in and bowl to Amug. That's a really good delivery, beaten. So talking about that opportunities and issues, as we've seen over the years, a lot of issues have been addressed as we move along and take this journey of USA cricket. See a lot of USA team players not only playing for USA but also getting called up for these different leagues all over the world. Especially Cheyenne is playing in PSL, and a lot of players feature in Caribbean Premier League, and then MLC, our very own tournament. You see a lot of US players. So do you think these kind of tournaments, the more they participate, that helps in the growth of these players?
Yeah, 100%. Especially for these youngsters, when you look at the
and that's a really good shot. A very poor fielding effort by the fielder there, through his hands, and that's a boundary. So 8 without lost after 1 over, and we'll be right back after this commercial as we look at this replay. On the up, driven straight through the fielder for a 4. And we're back with the chase. 99 runs needed. Future caps 8 without lost after first over.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these youngsters, like, it's a great opportunity for them to actually step up. Right now we have, two pathways where there are a lot of cricketers have come from outside, where we learned the game, played the game outside USA, and join and live in USA to get qualified to play for USA and MLC. But there's another pathway, the juniors, this crop of youngsters, plus there are a lot of actually even younger than these unit, super talent is coming through, and for them to reach into the MLC and Premier League level, I think the great opportunity for these tournaments.
And we are here having a conversation with the US men's coach, Pubudu Dasanaike. Pubudu, as we've seen in the past few months and maybe couple of years, some new influx of players, some very experienced players in all department of the game, batting, bowling, and even spin bowling. We've seen really good quality talent come in with the likes of, in the spin department especially, Harmeet has been a regular feature, and then we have the spinners like Muhammad Mohsin has come in, and then batting Milind Kumar can also bowl, and the batsman like Shubham showed some brilliant batting skills, and he can bowl a bit and batter. So how do you make sure that this pipeline continues to grow and we get more and more of this? Because we don't want to come to a point where this is the last batch of talent and there's nothing in the pipeline. How do you ensure that this continues as we continue to grow our team?
No, I think it's important to get these guys the continuation, getting the opportunity to get these playing these tournaments, plus some pathway, maybe to organize A teams. Like we have a home series in October, and we want to have a A team playing against these visiting teams. And looking for many other options. Right now we are a bit stuck with the system because of the transition period that we are in from USA Cricket to ICC. But later on, I think all the programs will come into place so that the youngsters will get more opportunity.
It's just for a single. So Pubudu, with the international calendar and the US team's men's assignment in international cricket, a lot of the full members, when they get a lot of series, they actually feel their A team and B teams to give more players a chance. Is there something like in the plan, especially with some of the international cricket coming with the other associate members, maybe inject a few more youngsters to kind of give them a chance, give them exposure to some international cricket? Obviously not talking about the major tournaments, but if a series against other associate members like Oman, Nepal, Scotland, maybe you can have some of these youngsters injected so they can feel the experience of international cricket.
Definitely, because even right now we are in when we announce the team, you will see some few youngsters in the senior group. Right now the setup is we are leading the World Cricket League to ICC table, and we have a very decent chance that we will finish number 1 after this year, and basically we dominated this whole the circle. But when you look at that performance, I think this is the greatest time for us to get few youngsters coming into the and give that opportunity. So we have actually started. We have actually thought about that because the Olympics is coming in 28. So just to get especially our fast bowlers unit is bit of a older side. So we still want that experienced bowlers to play, but at the same time, it's an opportunity that we can include 1 or 2 youngsters. So we are really thinking hard on those lines. So you will see in the future these couple of these youngsters making a breakthrough to the national team.
As one of the other thing is, as we get a break in the international calendar and these players go to their respective homes, how do you make sure to manage and monitor their tasks and the kind of list that they have to follow to keep them fit and work on some of their weaknesses and improve some of their strengths? Because that's one of the things that players used to always say is, and that's pulled and that's high up in the air and there's a fielder getting underneath it. and that's gone. That's a really good delivery by Elias. Wanted to get that shot out of the batter. He pulled it, but straight to the fielder, positioned right for the catch, and that's a really good catch. And not an easy catch to take when the ball goes that high, but that youngster took the catch, and that's the first blood for St. Louis Americans. Muhammad Elias getting that wicket. Future Caps 12 for 1. So Pabudu, we were talking about as the players go back, one of the things they always used to, talk about is like, what do we do, right? Our next assignment is, as we look at the replay, this was not that short of a delivery, but shot was there as he pulled it slightly finer towards back foot square leg, and the fine leg fielder Sohan was there and he took the catch, so that was a good fielder. So talking about that, as the players come back, how do you make sure that this core group of players that play regularly for the US side, what do they have to do to make sure they're up to mark with their fitness, their agility, and their game, and improve kind of a game plan or a fitness plan that you guys, the coaching team, gives it to them?
We have a good plan in place. We have a full-time SNC, he's in charge of all the fitness. We have identified around 50 players, and we are going to get them to play a tournament a selection tournament in August. So even before that, all these 50 players will get their fitness programs, and whoever not in the MLC from that group, will make sure that they also spend time with these foreign coaches when they come to MLC and in their training. It's going to be a year-round full program for those 50 players, we are blessed kind of because of these tournaments that and the franchise cricket that all of the even including the youngsters they are playing, they are actually pushed to stay in fit and do their stuff, proper training to stay in the system. So it's a half chance, maybe a catch.
That didn't carry again. That's driven, tried to drive that, get an edge towards the second slip. One bounce, as you can see in the replay. This just seems slightly off the seam away, and just one bounce to the second slip. Yeah, Pabudu, you were saying?
The plans are in place. I mean, I'm sometimes we haven't really announced those plans yet, but it'll come into to the media soon. So all these 50 players we will be monitoring yearly, to get them into the next level. So the plans are basically we next year 50 over World Cup in 2027 World Cup in South Africa, and then the LA 2028 the Olympics. So we are looking to build up a bigger group for us to have a bigger group to select from.
Especially in talking about the goals, as we've seen a really fast growth of the US team in the last 2 to 3 years, with a lot of players coming in, very skillful, very quality players, and a lot of international cricket exposure to the World Cup, playing against full members as we wait for this delivery from Elias, and this is down the leg, called a wide. So for these players, what is the goal, or the long-term, short-term goal for USA cricket? Where do you want to see our bunch of players, our team, from the next 2 to 3 years, with, like you mentioned, the Olympics for the first time cricket has been introduced, and then also the 50 over World Cup coming? How do you see your team, and what are some of the growth initiatives that you have?
Next 2 years, when I say next 2 years, especially the 27, the 50 over year, and then you move into 2028 with the Olympics and the T20 World Cup. So I think looking at those 2 years, it's so important for this year for us to bring this group into a good system where we'll have enough players to rotate in those 2 years. Even a player get injured, we should have a backup player ready to go. So that's a plan actually, and I'm really excited to see the talent that we have. It's just about keeping them into a good program so that we will have enough players coming through.
Talking about the full members, how accommodating have they been in the last year? Is to maybe allowing them to come and not maybe play a series, but maybe train with some of these international players via like a short training program, or have maybe some of the more international players come in, pass their knowledge and tips to some of these players? Was that ever been a program that can be considered maybe now or in the future?
We're actually looking to get a 2 full member series in this year, because the next year, February, we have the World Cup qualifier. We may have to play 2 or 3 full members for us to get into the World Cup against, in that qualifier at least you'll have four full members playing. So we need to beat 1 or 2 at least to get into the World Cup. So it's important that we play against the full members now.
That's great. And looking at this tournament, Houston Open, and the kind of pitches here and versus the MLC games that happens in Grand Prairie in Dallas and maybe Oakland, how do these pitches stack against the international venues where most of these US players will go and play, especially the World Cup and the Olympics? Do you think these are the kind of pitches, or there anything we need to do from an improvement side for our players to grow more?
When you talk about the associate cricket, these pitches are great. This is what we get most of the time wherever we go. But when we are playing a tournaments like World Cup or against a full member in a full member nation, wickets are so flat and batting friendly, and for our players it's like a paradise, because even the World Cup is so good. Wickets are so true and good batting, true wickets. So I think we have learned the hard way.
And that's a really good looking shot outside the off stump, cuts through to the point, and that's a 4. So Adnit getting in the runs, 18 for 1 future caps. This is just the 4th over, and look at the replay, left arm spinner giving width and hitting through point for a boundary. That's a really good shot.
Yeah, that's a great example for our talent that we have. Adnit also is a super youngster, who played the Under-19 World Cup, and I think he got 100 against Scotland in the World Cup. He was one of the main batters that we had. So it's great talent, all around. So fantastic to see. When you're going back to the question that you asked about the pitches, I think when you play against top nations, you get quality wickets. But this is what associate cricket is used to, and I think these grounds and facilities are great.
And definitely facilities are really good, and kudos to Mangesh and his team of groundsmen who've done a really good job, and very fortunate for players who live in Houston to have a facility like Prairie View. And again, this is a good looking shot, and that's going to go all the way to the boundary. So Adnit dealing with boundaries right now. 2 boundaries in this over, and Sujit erring on his line again outside the off stump, really spinning away and hitting with the spin through the point region. So like I was saying, kudos to Mangesh and his groundsmen. Really good grounds here, and for players who live in Houston, I've seen a lot of international players and have made Houston their home, especially because of Prairie View Cricket Complex. So Prabhudu, not putting you on the spot, but any name drops you want to do with the youngsters that you can see, watch out for this person or this person, this will be a future star, as we're looking at the team of future stars?
No, I'm there's many, but there are a few highlights Adnit, the guys who are batting right now. He's one of the best batters that we had in the Under-19 group, and also he still have one more year for the next World Cup. So he's still 17 years old. He boasts a bit of pace, great all-rounder, great technique, great talent. So it's fantastic stuff. Would have been out if there was a direct hit. So even if you like you mentioned in the earlier, the bowlers are Adit Kappa, Basu, and even the other guy Ryan who bowled here just one over earlier, he's also from the Under-19 national team. So some quality talent is coming through.
Definitely. And Adnit's pace, as reminding the viewers, that was the wicket that he got of that really vicious pacey bouncer, and nothing the batter could do, just hung his bat out there and popped a catch to the gully. That was Adnit. And one bowler I was really impressed with was the leg spinner Rahul, and his bowling style. He really has a high arm action. He gets a bounce because of that height, and he's a big turner of the ball. And that googly, not many batters could read his googly. So a future star to watch, certainly Rahul Basu, the left leg spinner. And before we let Pubudu go, Ed, I want to really thank him for taking the time out and giving us his opinions and his thoughts about the future of US cricket. Just one more thing, as from the grassroots level, as you talked about these youngsters coming in, can we do anything also? Do you think something is lacking, or any improvements we can make at the grassroots level to make sure our pipeline continues to grow and we can get more and more cricketers? And that went over his head, called a wide, signal by the leg umpire, so it's going to be a wide. So anything we can do at the grassroots level to maybe get more of these players to come towards this game? Any programs we can introduce, any improvements we can do our existing programs?
Yeah, I mean, from the local system, like now having this team, Future Stars team, playing as a team, you can see, like, these youngsters getting to bat on the top of the order, leading the bowling pack. But what I see sometimes is when you go into other tournaments where these young guys has to play in with the senior teams. Sometimes they don't get much opportunity. Sometimes the senior teams, like, they don't believe on youngsters right away. But I really want to see how we can open up for these youngsters to, like, give important roles even when they play with the seniors. But having said that, also, like, I've been in the USA cricket from 2016, so 2016 to 19, my earlier time with USA cricket. I went around a lot of places. That time there was no turf wickets. There were only one or two in the country. The tournaments are kind of low quality. But from that time, 19 to when I came back last year, I was watching all the minor league cricket. I watched these Opens tournaments. Like, the quality of cricket has gone really high, and even this tournament is like no different from a full member nation domestic cricket. So the boys have got this opportunity, and I'm sure that these tournaments will produce some great cricketers in coming days.
Certainly.
Thanks for having me, and you guys are doing a great job, so keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thanks again. We want to thank Pubudu for his insights and his vision for the men's adult team, and a lot of scouting opportunities here, and future caps. And the coach name dropped a couple of names, Adnit and Rahul and Kappa. So lots of good cricket here. So again, thank you, coach, and we'll be looking forward to this game. Thank you again. As Mohammad Ilyas will continue, he got the first wicket, just the 12 runs of the wicket. This is the third over, so he's bowling a really good spell, but not a lot of runs to play with for St. Louis Americans. 74 more needed, just a required run rate of 4.88. The wicket that he got was Amuk, the man in form. Played a pull shot, but straight to the fielder, and the fielder took a really good catch. So Mohammad Ilyas, this is his third over, 12 runs, 1 wicket. Do they have other bowling options besides Ilyas? They need to get wickets. They need to get wickets in bunches and in a hurry if they want to win this game. And so far, Future Caps poised to get their first win of this tournament. Certainly the group of youngsters for Future Caps, they've really impressed all of us, as Ilyas comes down the track and hits it towards mid-on for no run. And that's the end of over number 5. Future Caps 25 for 1.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smacked.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
So 74 runs needed of 90 deliveries. As Rayan will come in, he's bowled 1 over. And Coach Pubudu talked about Rayan as one of the up-and-coming youngsters. He's a left-arm spinner. He's going to continue to bowl, and this one is short and cut, but straight to the point fielder. Good fielding there. 74 runs needed. Adnit 11 of 12 deliveries. Sahil taking some time. 2 of 9 and 25 for 1. This is the 6th over, so last over of power play, and that doesn't matter. They don't need any big hits. All they need is to keep this partnership and rotate the strike as Rayan comes in. And this one is swept, and swept well, and for the maximum. And Adnit, like I said, dealing in boundaries. 2 4s and now a 6. That was a really good shot. Got to the ball, was spinning away, middled it perfectly over cow corner for a maximum. So that's a really good shot, and score moves on to 31 for 1. This is the last over of the power play. 3 more deliveries to go by Rayan. And tried to come down the track, and Rayan adjusted his line, bowled a little wider, just taps it towards the offside. So asking rate not really an issue. And for St. Louis Americans, they need to get more and more wickets. A defensive field side is not gonna get them wickets, and this one is cut towards deep backward point. Again, no run. So just 1/6 of the delivery, but that's a good shot, and that's exactly what Future Caps need. They don't need a lot of runs. Asking rate is just below 5, so the 6 runs is good enough for this over, but they need to conserve wickets and build a partnership. Comes down the track and hits inside out, and what a good shot that was. Just easy, pleasing to the eyes, as you can see in the replay. Comes down the track, inside out, over extra cover, and that's a 4, and that's a really good shot. And Adnit looking like a very promising youngster, and he moves on to 21. And as the score getting corrected, that was Sahil who was hitting that shot, not Adnit. Beg your pardon, that was a error. So Sahil hitting that 6 and a 4. A really good shot those were. So 36 for 1 at the end of the power play. So just required rate of 4.5 as Rayan gave 11 runs in that over for 6 and a beautiful inside out shot for 4. Bowling change. Ilyas off after 3 overs. Another pacer replacing him. That's Adya Naidu. That's the new bowler. Single of the first delivery. So Adnit moves on to 13. Sahil, 12 of 14 deliveries. 62 runs needed. 83 deliveries. That's not a... Balls are average is not an issue. And these two seem like they know what needs to happen. Not taking any unnecessary risk. This one comes down the track. And what a shot that is. So Sahil showing what he possesses. A really good shot. Comes down the track. Makes it a full delivery and lofts it over extra cover. St. Louis Americans, they need to get some wickets. They need to find bowlers who can take some wickets and perhaps maybe bring more spinners, as Future Caps got some crucial wickets with spin bowling. So maybe that pitch can assist seamers as spinners as Adya continues. That's a good delivery, attacking the stump, just watchfully defends it back to the bowler. So Sahil moves on to 16 of 16 deliveries. It took some time. As you can see, the two batters passing signals, as Adnit was mentioning that he can just tap it on the onside. Same shot, just turn the bat and we can run for a single. .41 for 1, and this is the 7th over in progress. And again, this one comes down the track, but there's a fielder out there for a single. I wanted to go a bit more squarer, but adjusted his shot as the ball was slightly back of the length, so adjusted his shot, came down the track and then sliced that ball for a single. That's a really good adjustment there, as he moves on to 17 as Adya continues. And Adnit just taps it and he wants 2, and they're going to come back for 2. And that's what happens when you have a bunch of youngsters. They can decide from the get-go that's 2 and they will get to it. So comfortably back for 2. So good over here for Future Caps. 8 runs already of the first 5 deliveries. Just 55 needed. 79 balls. Again, just taps it on the offside and for single, and that's the end of the first over from Adya. 9 runs conceded. Future Caps 45 for 1.
There's only one minor league champion.
Sujit comes back into the attack. So one left arm spinner, Ryan, taken off. Another one comes in. Sujit gave 9 runs of his first over, so this is second over. Both the batsmen on 17. playing really well, and this one turned a little bit and just waited for that turn and just hits it on the offside. The fielder stopped the ball, so no run there. So no sense of risk needed here. Both these batters, they just need to play sensible cricket, which they have been doing. So understanding the situation, playing the game accordingly. 46 for 1. This one swept, fetched it from outside the off stump. There's a fielder there in the deep, so for a single. As Adnit is gonna face, and that's a good delivery. Just rolls his wrist, plays that shot. No fielder in the circle, in front of the wicket on the onside. So Joshua Tromp runs in and just holds the batters for just a single. So 48 for 1. This is the 8th over in progress, as Sujit will continue. It's a flighted delivery, and that's cut, but straight to the fielder in the deep. So singles, and that's not helping St. Louis Americans' cause. They don't have a big total to defend. They need wickets. And Future Caps, they're not taking any sort of risk. They don't want to give wickets. So again, just taps it and run. And the fielder in the 30-yard circle is very deep. They need to take more fielders inside the circle and stop those singles. Nothing, with no risk. Future Caps scored 5 runs off that over. And that's exactly what they need. So end of 8 overs, Future Caps reaching 50, half century, 50 for 1. So another 49 runs needed off 72 balls. So 50 for 1 as Adya will continue. And this one is flicked off his toes. Will they come back for the second? The fielders was quick to get to the ball, so just a single. Future Caps bowling first. Got St. Louis Americans out for just 98 runs. And good bowling all around. Pacers up front, and then the spinners also bowling well, and good catching by Future Caps, holding just St. Louis Americans for just 98 runs and chasing 51 for 1. So not a big total. They're playing well, Future Caps, and that's a no ball, and that's not what's needed at this moment. So a full step, no ball, and Adya just inquiring from the umpire, how bad was it? Umpire Owen Brown, a very experienced umpire from Houston. So it's going to be a free hit. So let's see what Sahil does. He likes to play that lofted shot on the off, and Adya maybe planning to bowl a slower delivery or in the block hole or a wide outside the off stump. As Adya continues, free hit, and comes down and hits it on the offside, and that's gonna go for a boundary. So maximizing that free hit, the slightly shorter, and just adjusted his shot, hits it straight over mid-off. So mid-off was inside the circle, but still the straighter, nothing long on can do, and that's a 4. So Sahil moves on to 23 56 for 1, and that no ball resulted in 4 runs off the free hit. And this one again, tried to hit it over extra cover, but couldn't clear the fielder straight, 1 bounce, so no run there. .56 for 1, just 43 runs needed, and the asking rate has gone below 4 now, 3.74. This one is a slower delivery, just late cuts it towards third man for a single, gets off the strike, moves on to 24. He's playing with 100 strike rate, 24 of 24 deliveries, and Adnit 20 of 18. It's the 7th over in progress, and maybe you need more bowling changes, more spinners if they have, and more close-in fielders, and try to get those wickets. As far as the chase is going on, Future Caps, a very clinical chase going on. No unnecessary shots, no risk. They've already reached 57. This is the 9th over. And this one hit, handsomely driven, fielder after it, and gets to it, but the batter comfortably back for the 7th. That was a good drive, didn't quite time it well, allowed the fielder to get to that ball, so still managed to get 2 runs. 9 runs conceded, and that's not what St. Louis Americans need with such a small total on the board. Adya gave away 18 runs already. This is his 2nd over. And Adnit and Sahil consolidating after that early dismissal of Amug. As Adya will come in, bowl his last ball. And this is a good delivery, just stops it. And is there a chance for run out? No. The fielder couldn't dive and throw in one motion. And the batters were set with that single. So that's the end of over number 9, 60 for 1 after 9.
One heart! One heart! A-T-L-F-I-R-E. 1 heart. 1 fight. 8, 4, 6. Show no mercy. 1 heart. 1 fight. We apply the pressure. 1 heart. 1 fight. We apply the pressure. 1 heart. 1 fight.
There's only one minor league champion.
60 for 1 as Sujit will continue with a left arm spin. It's a good delivery, turn, and good stop there by the fielder. So another 39 runs needed in 10.5 overs. A lot of deliveries, very few runs, and a very good partnership here between Adnit, Jamb, and Sahil. Sahil Garg. Both of these batters look really good, especially the shots that Sahil played a couple of overs ago. Lofted 6 and an inside out 4, and then Adnit also playing some really good shots. So not taking any. Dropped. That's a hard catch, firmly driven but straight to the bowler, and took Sujit by surprise. Got both hands to it, but goes through it. So that's, we were just talking about giving a chance, and that was the chance. This flighted delivery, hit firmly, and Sujit got both hands to it, but not an easy catch. Need to have good reflexes. Got both hands to it, but got out. So that's the chance that St. Louis Americans probably needed, but that didn't go in their favor. So both these batters still out there, and that drop catch resulted in a single. As Sujit will continue. Can he get another wicket? And can he get a wicket? And this one, a good delivery, quicker one, attacking the stumps, just drops it towards offside. No run there. bowling a really good over, just conceding 1 runs. Change of ends. He's going to come over the wicket now to Sahil. And this one tried to reverse sweep with the change of end and the angle. The idea was good, but the execution not so good. Went underneath the bat through to the keeper. Let's see if Sujit can bring that magic ball to get a wicket. And this one, full delivery on the onside, driven straight to the mid-wicket where Hamid is the fielder. So that's the end of a very good over. Got a drop catch of his own bowling. Created a chance. 16 off of 3 overs. And future caps halfway through the innings, 62 for 1.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire. One of the favorites.
Man, indeed, when that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
Change in bowling is out, and another new pacer comes in, and this one is pulled. Very loosener, just half tracker and easy pickings for the batter, and that's gone for the maximum. Look at that delivery outside the off stump, waiting to be hit, and the batter obliged, and Sahil quickly moves on to 31, and that new bowler is Hamid. So not a good start for him. 6 runs given in the very first ball. So 68 for 1. There's 31 more needed. As the ball is gone on the other side, as the players trying to retrieve that ball as they bring in, as Hamid needs to really adjust his line. That was not a good ball to start off. Half tracker outside the off stump, as you can see, and just easily pulls it in front of square over mid wicket for a 6. And Sahil looks to be a really good batter here. He has played some really good shots. Would this be the over that both these batters might want to get close to the target? As Hamid will continue look for an adjustment in his line and length. Got a big run up there, almost from the edge of the 30-yard circle. He comes running in. That's a good delivery, and that's gone. And revenge taken. And that was a swinging Yorker, and that was a good ball. And gave him some room, the batter, Sahil, but couldn't adjust to the movement in the air, in the block hole. And look at that delivery. That reverse swung big. And nothing Sahil could do. Started outside the off stump, came back tailing in, and Sahil got back in the hut. 31 of 30 deliveries, 3 4s and 2 6s. A really good batting, but second wicket down for future caps. Is it a bit too late? Let's see. 68 for 2. As a new batsman walks in, that's Ansh. In comes Ansh Bhoj. He has opened the innings for future caps, but today he's coming at number 5. As he's a left-handed batter, so Hamid will have to adjust his line, but that was a good delivery by Hamid. After that loosener, the first ball which was taken for maximum by Sahil, the next delivery was a swinging Yorker, as you can see on the replay. Starts from way outside the off stump, tails in the air, reverse swing and hits the base of the stumps. So Hamid gets his revenge and gets a wicket, 2 down. Future Craps bring Ansh in, and with that swing and very little score to defend, maybe a slip would be good if he can get the same movement away from the left-handed batter. Maybe a slip in a gully would be a good choice. As Hamid comes in, no slip in place. That's a good delivery, attacks the stump. This one, no movement, just straight up, but good line and good length. And Ansh playing his first delivery, just watchfully defends it back to the bowler. 3 more deliveries to go, and that's what Ansh is asking the umpire. How many balls to go? So Hamid comes running in, and again that's a good delivery, driven off the front foot in the gap. The fielder quickly got to it for a single, brings Adnit on strike, and I feel like Hamid is better served to bowl to the right. And as you saw the seam, the way he's holding the seam to the right-handed batters versus to the left-handed batters is a bit different, and that's why he generates that reverse swing to the righties versus the lefty. As Hamid comes in, again that's a good delivery. That's what I'm talking about, the movement, the swing that he gets to the right, and that's the seam position that he's holding, Hamid. And you can see as that ball also tailed in as he gets. And again, that's a good delivery. Again, curling in and almost wanted that LBW, wanted to hit the pads. And that's the end of no, very good over. Apart from that 6, as you can see, the fingers and the reverse swing that he's getting. Starts from outside the offs, and that curls in, and that's the seam I was talking about. A different seam position, a different way of holding when he's bowling to the left-handed batsman versus the right-handed batter, and that's why he's getting that reverse swing. But for the left-handed batter, he's holding the seam differently and not getting that. Perhaps he's more comfortable bowling to the right-handed batter to get that reverse swing in. As we got the twin bowling change here, Sujit is taken off and the new bowler is coming in. 69 for 2 after 11 overs. Just 30 more runs to go in 54 deliveries. What do they need to do, St. Louis Americans? And as you can see again, as I was telling you, look at the seam, the way he's holding that to the right, and that's what he's using to get that reverse swing in. That ball also came in, hits the spot. So it's a good camera work there by the broadcasting team, and very premium broadcasting of this Houston Open 2026. We're at Pv5 as Arnav is gonna come in. That's good delivery, that takes the turn, and that might be a difficult bowler for the left-handed batter. And a bit of a discussion out there. Maybe Sujit, watching that turn first up, wants to have a word with his bowler and see what they can do differently. Slip in place, which is a really good decision. And with the off spinner and the new batter, that slip can put some pressure on the batter. And again, good delivery, turn straight to the short cover fielder. And Sujit not happy with that fielder. Perhaps he wanted that fielder to be a bit more up, slightly uppish, but not a catch. That's probably what Sujit was saying. You need to come a bit more, few steps up and a bit more straighter. As Arnav comes in, outside the off stump and hit it in the air, and that is gone. And that's exactly what Sujit and the bowler planned. That was not hit well and did turn a lot and took the outer part of the bat, and what a catch that was. And the fielder had to run a few yards and takes it really low. And that's a good wicket. Look at that bowling. Curled in, takes the turn, takes the outer part of the bat, and what a catch that was. And that's a really good catch. So that's the end of Ansh's inning. A very quick innings, and third wicket down, 69 for 3. And Arnav may be the best bowling option that they have right now, along with Hamid. And what that does is sends the left-handed batter back in the hut. So if there is two right-handed batters, Hamid might like to bowl more and get that reverse swing in and get more wickets, get that bold or LBW in play. So that's a good wicket to get for St. Louis Americans. Future cap 69 for 3. And the new batsman walking in is Harish. Harish Swetan, just the 2 innings, 33 runs. His best was 32. And he's coming in to play Arnav, who's bowling very well, and he's getting the turn. And that's what these St. Louis Americans need to do, is get more spinners in. As that's what did it for Future Caps, especially in the second half of their innings when Kappa and Rahul took a bunch of the wickets, and captain is getting more and more fielders in the catching position, and that's what they need to do. He's in slip, and then he's got another fielder here adjusting his field, bringing that point field in towards backward. He's there in the leg slip, so a leg slip and a regular slip in place comes in, and that's gone. 2 in 2, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Arnav, a straight delivery, hits it back to the bowler. Arnav obliges and takes that catch. So on a hat trick, this youngster Arnav, and 69 for 4. And look at the dismissal. A full delivery, was trying to hit it on the offside. The ball turned and didn't quite adjust his shot and hits it up straight to the bowler, who makes no mistake, and that's gone without bothering the scorer, out for a golden duck. So Harish Swetan gone for a duck, and that's the 4th wicket. Is it too late? Let's see. They need only 30 more runs and 6 wickets in hand, and Adnet is still there. But a good bowling effort here by Arnav. 2 in 2. He's on a hat trick. And the new batsman is the bowler that we've talked about a lot on this broadcast, is Rahul. He's a very good leg spinner, so he knows a thing or two about spin bowling. He's playing an off spinner who's taken 2 wickets in 2 deliveries, and he is on a hat trick. Can we see more fielders come up as catching? Give him a chance for a hat trick. Just the 2 players and 3 players in catching position. Short cover, slip, and a leg slip. And this one is short and pulled. And that's gone, and that's a hat trick. And that's a hat trick. And look at that. Look at the jubilation on Arnav's face and St. Louis Americans. And that was a poor delivery, was a half tracker, and Rahul just pulled it, but straight to the fielder at deep mid wicket. And that's a hat trick for Arnav. And all of a sudden, future caps, they were cruising with this total, with this chase, and now 69 for 5. And let's look at the replay. That was a short pitch delivery, just hits it with the spin, couldn't keep it down, and that is a hat trick, and that's a catch by Muhammad Ilyas. And what a delivery that was, and what a spell. So 5 wickets down now. Adnit running out of partners here. 3 deliveries, 3 dismissals. And look at the bowling stat line of Arnav. 0.5 deliveries, no runs, and 3 wickets. Let's look at all 3 wickets. This is the first one of Ansh Boj. Pops it towards point. That was the first wicket of the hat trick. It was a good catch. And we'll look at the other 2 wickets here. The second one was a cotton bowled, and this was the cotton bowled. Flighted delivery, hits it back to the bowler, and this is Rahul, half tracker. He could have played anywhere in any direction, but he decides to give some catching practice to Muhammad Ilyas and give Arnav a hat trick. So the very first hat trick of Houston Open 2026 by Arnav, the off spinner. 3 wickets, 1 more ball to go. Can he get 4 in 4? More fielders coming in catching. 2 slips for the left-handed batsman. It's Arnav Cham. 2 slips in play. That's a good delivery. It turned, and the batsman lets it go to the keeper. Let's watch that hat trick one more time. That was the first batter, hits against the spin, pops it towards point. Great catch. Wicket number 2, caught and bowled. First delivery. And wicket number 3, a nothing shot. Half tracker, hits it straight to Muhammad Ilyas at deep mid wickets. 3 and 3, and that brings a change as Hamid is taken off and Ryan comes in. Left arm spinner, and Ryan, left arm spinner, hits it towards cover. So Ryan needs to follow in Arnav's footsteps and maybe get a wicket or 2. Half the team back in the hut. And again, this is a good delivery. Chance for a run out. Oh, was that a run out? What happened there? A direct hit would have been a clear run out. Even a direct throw would have given keeper a chance. Let's look at the replay. How close was that? As you can see, a bit off target, and the keeper had to go away from the stumps to get that ball, and that probably helped the batter to get in the crease. Had that throw been straight on top of the stumps in the keeper's hand, that would have been a run out. So a poor throw by the fielder as a very risky run brings Shiv on strike, and Shiv comfortably plays on the onside for a single. Ryan bowling, not getting a lot of turn as Arnav was getting. Let's see what he does to the right-handed batsman. Adnit is on 25. If they can get Adnit here, future caps will be in trouble. That's shorter. Easily rocks back and punches towards long on for a single. And score moves on to 72 now. Asking rate is 3.68. The remaining total to get is in the 20s. 27 runs, 5 wickets. Can they get another wicket or two? And that will put future caps in a lot of trouble. At one point they were just cruising with just 2 wickets down, and then, or 1 wicket down, and that wicket by Hamid and the 3 hat-trick by the youngster that brought St. Louis Americans back. A lot of field adjustment going on. They want to make sure they have the right areas covered. Is the wicketkeeper also helping the skipper Sujit Naik is bringing that shorter fine leg fielder inside up square slightly towards mid wicket, and the deeper fielder is moved more squarer from deep mid wicket. So let's see what they can do. Slip still in play as Ryan will come in, and that's a good flighted delivery. Just played with the derm, rolled his wrists and takes a single. And they have one more over by the pacer Muhammad Ilyas, and he bowls at really good pace, so might not be a bad idea if they don't get a wicket here in the over or two. Bring Ilyas in for that final over, and maybe he can get a wicket. It's just a matter of getting a wicket, breaking partnerships, and in the process, if they get Adnit out, that's going to put future caps in a lot of trouble. 5 wickets already down. 13th over, 26 runs. If you left watching this game thinking this is an easy win and you just came back, the picture has changed. 73 for the loss of 5 wickets, courtesy of that hat-trick. And this one again tapped towards the offside. No run there, so 4 runs conceded by Ryan, and end of over number 3 for him. 19 runs, 73 for 5 after 13. So Arnav will continue. 2 slips in play, and that's the right move, especially for the left-handed batter. And the ball spinning away. Any edge with the spin that he's getting can result in a wicket. As Schiff is the new batter, he's on 2 of 4 deliveries. Again, a good delivery, and this one didn't spin. And batter was expecting the ball to turn, so got the inner part of the bat. So a really good piece of bowling there. No runs conceded so far. 1.2 overs, 3 wickets. And this one tucks it towards the square leg. Will they go for 2? Decided against it, so brings Adnit on strike. These 2 batters playing very cautiously to Arnav, who just gave away his first run in his spell. 1.3, 3 wickets and just 1 run. So Adnit, he's the more settled batsman. Let's see how he tackles, and if St. Louis Americans can get one more wicket and wicket of this man right here, might be a different ball game. As Arnav will continue. Slip still in place. Again, a lot of turn, a lot of bounce. Rocks on the back foot, just drives it to the long on fielder for a single. So Adnit rightfully not taking any chances. He doesn't want to lose any more wicket, especially with only 24 runs needed of 38 deliveries. Just play him out, play Arnav out, and take his chances against other bowlers. Hamid is still there. He's bowled 1 over. He's getting a lot of reverse swing. He can bowl. Ilyas can come for 1 over. What a delivery that is. That ball turned and bounced, and I'm not sure if that leave was deliberate, but it looked very close and got some excitement going in the inner circle of St. Louis Americans as Arnav comes in. A full toss straight to the mid-on fielder. No run there, and that's the end of a very good over. 2 runs conceded. And St. Louis Americans future caps 75 for 5 after 14.
There's only one minor league champion.
As Ryan will continue the bowling, and he's in his last over. He's bowled the first delivery for a dot, so Adnit is facing. There's 2 now fielders up in the close-up circle. One is slightly short cover, and then one right next to him, trying to get that drive up. And this one turned and kept a little low as Adnit was trying to play it on the onside, but plays it back to the bowler. So certainly the fielders are in place to get that catch, get that false shot from Adnit. 2 on the offside, 1 at very short mid-wicket. Again, this is a good delivery, hits it straight back to the bowler. So Ryan really putting the pressure. This is just his 15th over. Still, run rate is not an issue, but the pressure is certainly on. And this one down the leg, wide call, was trying to reverse sweep that delivery, and Ryan is not happy with that call. He mentioned that ball did hit, and umpire Owen Brown correcting his decision is not a wide. So 4 dot balls, 2 more balls to go with for a maiden. A really good bowling by Ryan. A slight field adjustment there as Ryan will continue again with the turn, but plays on the onside. They want 2 as the bowler was running after the ball, but the long on fielder gets to it first, but a single. So last ball, let's see what Ryan can do. Can he get a wicket? Last delivery of his spell. He's given 1 run in this over and 20 runs in his spell, and he's going to bowl to the new batter Shiv, who's 3 of 8 deliveries. Can he get a wicket? Can he provide another breakthrough for his team? St. Louis Americans running out of runs to defend, but playing a very good game, especially courtesy of Arnav, who took a hat-trick. Field adjustment for the left-handed batter. Point coming into place. They've got a slip. They've got a short cover. They've got a short mid-wicket. They've got a leg slip, not a slip. This comes in. Oh, really good delivery, and that went towards leg slip, and that's the end of a very good over. 20 runs of 4 overs. Didn't take any wicket, but bowled a really good spell. And that's the end of over number 15. 76 for 5. Still 23 runs needed from 30 balls. We're getting closer to run a ball equation here. So Arnav will continue. 2 overs for 2 runs and 3 wickets. Leg slip in play, off slip taken off, and this one is short and cut. And cut handsomely. 2 fielders trying to stop that ball. A rare poor delivery by Arnav, and that's gonna go to the boundary. So very good boundary by Adnit. A very short delivery. Waited for that, rocks back, picks the gap, and hits it wide of the deep cover in the gap. Well timed, and that's a boundary, and that brings them closer to the target. Now just 19 runs needed, as Arnav now will come round the wicket to Adnit, who's on 32. Round the wicket, probably give an angle and then bring the ball in from that angle. And that's what he was trying to get, that LBW swept fine. There's a fielder there, and he makes a really good effort to stop that ball and saved a boundary. 2 runs. So Adnit now playing comfortably. 34 of 36, 17 runs needed. Arnav gone for 6 runs. He gave 2 runs in his first 2 overs and then 6 runs in first 2 deliveries. So Arnav, he needs to get that spin back. He needs to get that line back. As he comes in, this is again short. Cuts it. Bit of misfielding there. And that's gonna... Just a single batter decided against taking that second. The ball ricocheted off that fielder's hand, but the fielder was quickly up to retrieve that ball. So this is a good matchup with the lefty batter in and the off spinner. That can certainly induce an edge. If he can pitch it in the right area. 3 more deliveries to go. Can he get a wicket? That's a good wicket, and again not a very convincing shot, but will result in runs. Just open the face slightly away from the slip, who dove to get that ball but goes away, and a single. So 2 more deliveries to go. This is a slightly expensive over from Arnav. 8 runs given. 84 for 5. Just 15 more runs needed in 4.2 overs. So there's plenty of balls remaining. They need wickets. They need quick wickets. Just still 5 more wickets to go, as Arnav will bowl round the wicket to the right-handed batsman. That's a good delivery. Flighted. Stopped it straight to the short cover position. So this is the last ball of his over. This is his 3rd over. He's got 1 more to go, and maybe bring Ilyas back in for that his last over. Maybe he can get some pace and some bouncers and maybe induce a false shot, as Arnav. Again, this is a good delivery. Bounced, turned, taps it towards square leg. No run there, and seems like Sujit is taking off his cap. He wants to bowl his final over, as Ryan was done, the left arm spinner. Sujit also bowls left arm spin. He's tall. He might get some bounce and turn. He's bowled 3 overs, so he's going to bowl his last over. Still no Ilyas back in the attack. As you can see, the Worms, St. Louis Americans, so many dots throughout, losing wickets. As Sujit, 16 runs of 3 overs. As you see, runs per over. Got some runs in that 6th, 7th, and 8th. Some tall buildings there. But then nothing but singles and wickets. As Sujit will bowl his last over. Shiv is the batter. Let's see what kind of field placement he brings in. Still trying to adjust his field. He's got a slip in place. Looks like slip is slightly deeper, so not sure if it's gonna carry. Again, that's a good delivery that turned in. And he's got the leg slip in place. Still trying to adjust his field as Adnit walks to his partner. Had a word with him on how to play. Still field adjustments. As Sujit Naik. And that's a full delivery. Just comes on front foot, drives it easily towards long on for a single. 14 more runs to go. Nothing too difficult from here unless St. Louis Americans get some wickets. They have one more over from Arnav left. This is Sujit's last over, so he'll be done with this spell. That's a good delivery. That turned. And Adnit just pulled his bat at the last minute. Lets it go through to the keeper. So Sujit, does he have an arm ball? Can he bring it in? Can he trap that pad right in front of the wicket? What can he do different? Let's see, Sujit. Again, that turned a bit more wider this time, and Adnit went through with a shot straight to the fielder. Maybe bowl slightly more closer to the stumps and get that one that goes in with the arm if he's got the delivery. That's the ball I was talking about, but this time slightly full on the onside, driven for a single. So just 2 runs conceded, but runs is not what St. Louis Americans want to stop. They want to get more wickets. So last ball of his spell, 18 runs conceded. Righty lefty batter combination, field adjustment. Sujit, can he get this wicket? Again, Shiv rocks on the back foot, drives it to the long on to Joshua Trump for a single, and that's the end of Sujit's spell. 19 runs of 4 overs and just 12 runs needed of 18 deliveries. Future caps 87 for 5. And are we going to see Arnav finish his spell, or are we going to see Ilyas come in? And it seems like Ilyas will probably come in from the other end where Sujit was bowling. So Arnav Jam is going to finish his spell. He has 3 wickets. 3 wickets in 3 successive deliveries. So a hat-trick. First hat-trick of Houston Open 2026. And still some field adjustments. Sujit slip, backward point. A very straighter short cover is coming in, and again good delivery played on the onside. Just a single. So 11 more runs to go. Adnit still out there. 36 of 42 deliveries, played a really good knock, and this one is driven straight. The long off fielder after it gets to the ball quickly. Just a single there. As Adnit on 37, he's played a really good role for his team, as he was cruising early on but then saw wickets falling from the other end. Now playing a senior role for his team, not hitting any extraordinary shots, not taking any risks, He wants to get to these remaining 10 runs without losing any more wicket. Also giving advice to his partners as shift 7 of 14. Arnav, last 4 deliveries of his spell. Can he get another wicket? Again, a good delivery and hit towards mid-on. Mid-on is inside the circle. Under normal circumstances, long off, long on always stays deep, but not here. With just 10 runs remaining, they want to bring in as many fielders as they can inside the circle. As Arnav will bowl to Shiv. Two more overs to go after this, so maybe Ilyas will come in and bowl his last over. This is the 18th over. Didn't expect this game to go this deep, especially the way Future Cap started their inning, and this one is cut and misses. And that's the kind of chances that St. Louis Americans are looking for, is to get an edge, get a shot, get some extra bounce turn from Arnav, and gets a wicket for his side as Arnav, last 2 deliveries of his spell. And this one tries to play the ram shot, still manages to play, and the slip fielder after it comfortably taken 2 runs. The action replay that was played against the spin. The idea was good, is to play that ramp shot. It still manages to play it slightly upish. No fielder there in that region, so slip had to run in and cut that ball off, resulting in 2 runs. So 8 more runs needed, and more fielders coming in the circle. As Arnav, last delivery, 14 runs, 3 wickets. And this one is driven handsomely, but the fielder is there, Hamid, and quickly gets to the ball for a single. And that's the end of a very good bowling spell by Arnav. 15 runs, 3 wickets, 4 overs, and that's the end of over number 18. 92 for 5. Again, action replay of his 3 wickets of 3 successive deliveries, a hat-trick. Second one caught and bowled, good catch. And the third one, poor delivery, picks out 1 fielder in the mid-wicket area, Mohammad Ilyas, and that was the hat-trick. Arnav getting high fives from his teammates, bowled a really good spell, brought his team back. And now we have, as what we've been talking about and expecting, Mohammad Ilyas will bowl his last over, and he can generate some pace, so certainly need a slip and a gully if he can get an edge. Just 7 more runs to go. 7 more runs to go. 2 more overs. As we've joined by Nikhil Butt in the comm box as Mohammad Ilyas coming in. This became a very interesting game in a hurry, as Future Caps bowled really well, got a very experienced St. Louis Americans out for 98, and it seemed like it's going to be an easy target at one point, and then Arnav came in and took a hat-trick. So Future Caps lost 5 wickets. 2 more overs to go, 7 runs. Ilyas generates a lot of pace, a very experienced bowler. Nikhil?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a close game. I mean, now just 5, they have 5 wickets in hand, 7 runs. This should be pretty straightforward, but the hat-trick definitely made it interesting. Not a big target to chase. in the end, they'll take the points and go to the next game, I believe.
Interesting, with just 5 runs to go, there's no slip in plays, no really catching fielders. That's what St. Louis Americans need to do, is at least get a slip in place. And this one is driven handsomely, and that's very poor fielding by the fielder at mid-on, and through his hands, and the batters just took 1 run, as Adnit wants to keep the strike, so refuses the second run, so he comes on strike. He's 37 of 43 deliveries.
Yeah, it's one of those games where strike rate would not be an issue. It's all about staying there and finishing it. That's what Adnit is doing here for his team. Just 99 to win. The required run rate was never a problem, and he's just staying there and doing the job for his team.
Still no slip in place, still no gully in place. So with 6 runs to go of 10 deliveries, as Elias comes in, and this is a pacey delivery, but misfires it for a wide.
It's been a good spell here by Elias. Obviously 3.2 overs, 1 for 14. In the context of the game, it may not matter that much, but given that this is a long tournament with few games to go, it's always good to have a fast bowler in rhythm, which will hopefully be effective for his team going forward.
As Elias, can he do something for his team? Can he get a wicket or two in this over? His final 4 deliveries of his spell certainly can cause some excitement. This one off the toes, flicks it straight to the fielder in the deep for a single.
A good looking shot that by Adnit. He moves on to 38 now, and just 1 boundary to win the match from here on. Shiv on strike. Again, Shiv is taking his time. Like I mentioned, one of those games where you can take your time and get those points in the bank for your team as a batter.
His first 4 deliveries, as you saw, first 3 deliveries, Elias trying to get his Yorker in, and he's not able to get his line right, and in the process got a wide. So still trying to get that Yorker, maybe perhaps bowl a shorter delivery.
This is well bowled here by Elias, angled across the left-handed batter, tried to play the cut shot and missing it. Like you mentioned, Mustafa, it was the back of length ball.
And that's what he needs to do, as if you try to bowl a few Yorkers, the batsmen, they have their mind set and they're trying to see for another Yorker, so surprise them by bowling maybe a shorter delivery, a slower delivery, something different. And something different is definitely needed in this game, as 4 more runs to go as Elias comes in. And this is a bouncer, and bouncer pulled handsomely, and that's the end of it, as Future Caps upsetting the mighty St. Louis Americans, winning it by 5 wickets. Got interesting in the middle, but Adnit played a beautiful innings, and that's the end of it. So Future Caps winning their first game of Houston Open 2026.
Yeah, it's a big win here for Future Caps, and certainly a confidence booster. And what a way to finish it. A brilliant pull shot over mid-wicket. So that's that from here. This is the end of the game. Future Caps win this one by 5 wickets, and we'll be back for the next one. But we'll have the scorecard coming up, so let's just give a summary of that whenever it's pulled up. But it's been a good game, as you see over here. The batting scorecard, like we mentioned, Adnit staying there, coming in at number 3, 38 not out, finishing the game. Shiv in the end, 15 of 22. There was some jitters for the batting team with a hat trick there by Arnav Jam. So it's both the brothers in both the teams, Adnit and Arnav, doing it for their team. A brilliant hat trick by Arnav, good batting by Adnit. In the end, Future Caps win this one by 5 wickets. And the bowling card here, as you see, Elias 3.5 overs, 1 for 19, a good spell there. And of course, in the end, Arnav Jam 4 overs, 3 for 15, including that hat trick, and 1 wicket for Safi as well. So that's the overall bowling picture, and we'll have the highlights coming up. Take a look at this. Some brilliant batting, good shots here by Amog, and this one on the leg side, beautifully picked up, not quite getting the connection, and a good catch there in the deep. The left arm spinner punched off the back foot, a good looking shot by Adnit, another one there. Again, it's this time the slog sweep, beautifully played, dancing down the track, the extra cover drive, some good shots here. Sahil playing one and went for another one that was there. This was pulled away beautifully. Sahil was then jocked and got bowled, trying to give himself some room. And then this is where we had the hat-trick from Arnav, the first one. This is the second one, caught and bowled. And the hat-trick ball, shot, pulled away, but straight to deep mid-wicket. That was the hat-trick. And that's after that, shot outside the off stump, beautifully played back foot drive, and that was the winning shot, which got 4 runs in the end. And that's the overall summary. A win for Future Caps by 5 wickets, their first win. So overall, a pretty good game. A short game, we would say. Future Caps win by 5 wickets. And we'll be back now for the second game in some time. Thank you.